Hello everyone, and welcome back to Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge, Special Edition. So, we are on Captain Dread's houseboat, and we're off to find Big Whoop. Now, we actually have basically an open world at this point, or some approximation of an open world. The first thing I'm going to do is to read this book, which the voodoo lady gave us, entitled Big Whoop, Unclaimed Bonanza or Myth.
Big Whoop, Unclaimed Bonanza or Myth. This is fascinating. It says here there were 4 pirates. Rapp Scallion, the cook, young Lindy, the cabin boy, Mr. Rogers, the first mate, and Captain... Good heavens! Captain Marley! Wonder if there's any relation. They buried their treasure along with plenty of... booby traps on a place believed to be called Inky Island. They made a map which they divided into 4 pieces, each man taking one. Rapp Scallion later opened the Steam and Weenie Hut on Scab Island. It was a huge success, but fell into disrepair after Rapp was killed in a flash fire. Young Lindy drifted aimlessly, down on his luck until he mysteriously came into money while panhandling on Booty Island. He used the cash to bankroll an advertising firm which failed after its gross mishandling of the gangrene and honey account. Mr. Rogers retired off the coast of Fat Island. He marketed homemade contest grog brewed in a bathtub until his recent disappearance. Captain Marley vanished while sailing in the America's Cup race. His boat was leading at the time.
Okay, there we go. So that's some nice kind of pirate adventure sort of backstory for us on the treasure of Big Whoop. In case you couldn't tell from the fact that this chapter of the game is called 4 map pieces, we need to get 4 map pieces, and the 4 map pieces are the ones, of course, mentioned in that book belonging to each of the 4 people. I'm going to do them in order, so I'm going to start with Rapp Scallion the cook, who... if you were listening to that just then, it said he opened a steaming weenie hut on Scab Island, which is the island we've just come from. So we're going to go back there, also pick up some parrot chow, but we're going to get back to Scab Island, but not immediately. We need a couple of items from elsewhere first.
Welcome to the Jolly Rasta. Where do you want to go?
I don't know. What are my choices?
I only know how to get to 3 islands, man.
What are they?
There's where we just came from, Scab Island, the only island where pirates are free to be pirates. Then there's Booty Island, the festive French Mardi Gras party all the time island. It's run by one of the most respected and loved governors around, Governor Elaine Marley.
Elaine?
And last, there is Fat Island, a fascist dictatorship run by an over-bloated pig named Governor Fat. Here, take this easy-to-read reference map, courtesy of Dread Tours. You can use it to show me where you want to go.
I absolutely love Captain Dread, and particularly his voice. When I was a kid, before this game had voice acting, when it was the original sort of version that I was playing, I imagined him to sound exactly, and I mean exactly, like how he sounds in this game. Now obviously, what with him being a sort of Caribbean Rastafarian guy, you would expect him to speak with a Jamaican accent, but the very smallest inflections of his voice are exactly how I pictured them, and it's really weird how exactly right they got it. But the way he goes, Governor Fat, is just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So anyway, this is the Tri-Island area. Scab Island, of course, where we've been already. Fat Island, as he said, a fascist dictatorship run by a guy called Governor Fat, who, in case you hadn't guessed, is quite fat. And Booty Island, which is run by Governor Elaine Marley, of course, Elaine from the first game. And as I mentioned in the first episode, this game takes a very nihilistic approach to the idea of like happy endings and the idea of it all working out from the happy ending of the first game. Guybrush and Elaine haven't seen each other for some time, and we will find out more about it, of course, when we explore Booty Island. The first place I'm going to go to is Fat Island. And here we can see the classic Indiana Jones style red line drawing Captain Dread's route across to Fat Island. Now, of course, if there was a westerly wind, then he won't be able to sail directly eastward. He would have to kind of till around the wind, but as you can see, his route is somewhat unorthodox, shall we say. And I don't know if that is pandering to a stereotype about Rastafarians, but yeah, he may have been 420 blazing it. Okay, here we are. That's the overworld map of Fat Island. And we're going into Fat Town here.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
Aren't you Guybrush Threepwood?
No, my name is Smith. You must have me confused with someone else.
Smith, eh? That's an unusual name. Perhaps you have some identification?
Why, yes, Good heavens! My wallet's been stolen!
Of course it has, sir. You'd better come with me. Governor Fat would like a word with you.
I'm really very busy. Could we do this another time? Coming.
Well, Mr. Oh, excuse me. Well, Mr. Threepwood, I can't tell you how pleased I am to have you here as my guest.
Can't say as I care much for your method of invitation.
I simply wanted to ensure that you didn't slip away before we had a chance to meet. There's something I'd like to discuss.
Such as why there's a wanted poster on the wharf with my picture on it?
Such as your future, Mr. Threepwood, and that of the ghost pirate LeChuck.
LeChuck's dead. I killed him.
Perhaps you didn't kill him quite so thoroughly as you imagine. He looked perfectly healthy the last time I saw him.
Last time you saw him? Oh no, LeChuck's back.
I beg your pardon, did you say something?
I took care of LeChuck once, I can do it again.
You'll get your chance. You see, he's put a sizable bounty on your head.
Oh?
A bounty I intend to collect.
Oh. Whatever bounty LeChuck's offering, I'll double it.
Very amusing, Mr. Threepwood. Take him away.
Yes, sir, Governor Fat. Come on, you little weasel.
I'll be back.
Come on. Don't try to escape or anything. Walt will chew you to bits. Okay, Walt. I'll be back to relieve you at 11.
So there we go, that's Governor Fat. Yeah, getting fed different coloured greasy liquids through those pipes. Pretty disgusting. But here we have a classic adventure game style escaping from prison puzzle. The dog has the key in his mouth. If we open the mattress, there is a stick inside which we can pick up, and we can use the stick with this skeleton's leg bone here.
Watch me flip it right into my pocket. They don't call me the Bone Master for nothing.
Okay, Bone Master. And then we can give the bone to Walt.
Here, doggy doggy. Here, boy.
Thank you kindly. Pick up the key. Use the key in the door. And we're done. Now, there is a manila envelope here. Of course, manila envelopes are those like official, like sealable sort of document envelopes. That is what contains all of our possessions, which were taken off us when we were thrown in prison. So if we pick up that and then open it.
Hey, that tickles.
There we go. Everything we had before is now back. And there is also a gorilla envelope. So if we pick that one up and open it.
There's a banana in here and an organ.
Okay. Fair enough. Gorilla envelope. And we're done. Now we are back in the town of Fat Island.
Wanted, Guybrush Threepwood. Hey, that's me! For the murder of G.P. LeChuck. Also for the use of witchcraft on the person of Largo Legrand. The thievery of clothing and medically prescribed hair supplements for such witchcraft. Grave robbing. Trespassing. Larceny without a permit. Exceeding allowable FDA limit for rodent parts in Vichyssoise. Unauthorized exiting from a penal institution. And releasing a dangerous reptile in a populated area. Also wanted for questioning regarding the disappearance of prescription eyewear. Reward offered for information leading to the suspect's apprehension. Threepwood is to be considered armed and dangerous. Armed and dangerous? Right on.
Okay, now when the voodoo lady gave us the Unclaimed Bonanza or Myth book, she mentioned that she'd got it from Fat City Library, which is right here, and to return it in case, because it was taken out in our name, to return it in case we incurred heavy fines. So we're going to pay a visit to this library now. Before I do that, I just want to stand and gawk at the beautiful scenery here. In fact, I'll just quickly change it back to the old graphics, if I can remember how to actually do that. Let's see. Switch mode F1. There we go. So this is how the game used to look. Still absolutely beautiful pixel art, like reflective water and such things. And just while I'm in this mode, I'm just going to quickly show off Guybrush's character sprite, which is really quite wonderful. And
Wanted, Guybrush Threepwood, for the murder of G.P. LeChuck. Also for the use of witchcraft on the person of Largo Legrand.
Yeah, so as I said before, we can, in this game we have the option of using the voice acting alongside the original graphics, which is superb because it just simply acts as an upgrade to the original game and makes it like a talky version of Monkey Island 2, which never actually existed in the 90s. But you can't do that with the original, or else I would have played both of these with the original graphics. Okay, here we are in the library. There is a model lighthouse, a card catalogue, and a scary librarian.
Excuse me.
Shh! This is a library. Whisper! Now, what is it?
I'm looking for a book.
Do you have a library card?
No. How do I get one?
I'll need some personal information. Name?
Herman Toothrot.
Address?
221B Baker Street.
Age?
21.
Occupation?
Pirate.
Vices?
Murder, arson, thievery, that sort of thing.
I see. All right. Your library card will be mailed to the address you gave me. In the meantime, take this temporary card. You may check books out of the library, but only 4 at a time.
That's about as many titles as I can remember anyhow.
What book are you looking for?
I don't know. What have you got?
You expect me to name every book in the library? Use the card catalog like a normal person.
Okay, so we have a temporary library card in the name of Herman Toothrot. And our permanent library card in that name is getting mailed to Sherlock Holmes. However, because this one was taken out in Guybrush's name and our account is called Herman Toothrot, we can still take out 4 books on top of that one. Now, there are a couple of books that we need to take out. Luckily, I think I can probably just about remember what they are. This was one of the most cryptic things in the original game, well, in this version as well, of course. When I originally played this, when I didn't basically know the entire game off by heart, this was one of the most cryptic puzzles in the game, was this card catalogue. As you can see, you open a drawer and every single card is a different book. Some of them are hilarious, like Both Hands Empty, the Herman Toothrot story, for example. The Stan story. These are all the biographies. The Time I Blew Up LeChuck, Questionable Memoirs of Guybrush Threepwood. Both Hands Moving, the Stan story. Okay, so let's see, what do we need? Well, for Rapp Scallion's map piece, we will need one called Recipes. This is it, Recipes Voodoo, The Joy of Hex, 101 Essential Voodoo Recipes. So we memorise this card.
The Joy of Hex. I'll have to remember that.
And then we can ask the librarian for the book that we've memorised. Now I think we can probably memorise more than one at once. Let's see. Sharks, shipbuilding, sailing, self-help, sailing, salmon. We're looking for shipwrecks. Spiritual Gift of the Lizard People. Very nice David Icke there. Shipbuilding. Shipwrecks, sea disaster. Okay. Viscous fluids you can make at home. I think Governor Fat's cook has probably taken a leaf out of that book. Dogs, disease, disaster, great shipwrecks of our century from the Lime Life Disaster series.
Great shipwrecks of our century. I'll have to remember that.
Yeah, we want that one.
I think I'll try a different drawer.
We also want one called Famous Pirate Quotations or something like that. I can't remember what it's actually called, what it's like under though. I'll try Q.
I think I'll try a different drawer.
Quotations, famous pirate quotations, that's what we want.
Famous pirate quotations. I'll have to remember that.
Okay, I think that's all of them. However, what we need to do as well is take out any other random book. It could be any of the ones in here. So let's pick one at random. Dessert recipes for tripe lovers. We'll have that.
Dessert recipes for tripe lovers. I'll have to remember that.
Okay.
I've had it with this card catalog.
Now we can go and ask the librarian for these books.
Pardon me, miss.
What do you want this time?
I'm looking for a book.
What book are you looking for?
I need dessert recipes for tripe lovers.
Okay, here you go. Anything else?
Could you find famous pirate quotations?
That book has been checked out by Governor Fat. Anything else?
There we go. I actually already knew, of course, that Governor Fat had that book, but I just wanted the game to reveal it naturally. So we can get the other two, though.
Do you have Great Shipwrecks of Our Century?
Okay, here you go. Anything else?
Could you find The Joy of Hex?
Okay, here you go. That's your limit. You'll have to give some books back before you can check out any more.
I don't think we'll need any more, conveniently. there are like there are 4 books that we need, and we can have 4 at a time, so that's very convenient. Now, while we're here, I'm just going to look at this.
This looks like a lighthouse on a beach.
Shh!
In fact, I wonder if she has anything to say about it.
Pardon me, miss.
What do you want this time?
Why do you have a model lighthouse here?
There's a new lighthouse being built in town. That is a scale model of what it will look like.
It's very attractive for a lighthouse.
Yes, and it will be very bright, too. It will have one of the most powerful magnifying lenses in the Caribbean. I'd show you with the model, but unfortunately, the bulb has burnt out.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bother you.
Then why did you?
Harsh but fair. Okay, so before we leave here, I'm just going to quickly open this model lighthouse.
There's a model lighthouse lens inside.
This is a library.
Sorry. He is talking to himself, to be fair to her. Okay, we'll pick up this lens. Lovely. Alright, I think we're just about done here for now. If we go up here... Well, there's plenty more places in Fat City for us to explore, but we don't need to quite yet. I don't, in fact, think we need to as part of Rapp Scallion's map piece quest. But just to show you guys up, this is the overworld of Fat Island. You can see there is like an atoll here, like a little islet off the island. There is the mansion of Governor Fat. What else is there? A waterfall. And yeah, so there's plenty of places for us to explore elsewhere on Fat Island, but we don't need to do that quite yet. Now, let me see. Oh yes, while we're here, we can go back to Governor Fat's mansion. Awesome music, as always. And we'll go over here and into his fetching Georgian governor's mansion.
Hey, aren't you supposed to be in jail?
You must be confusing me with my cousin, Guybrush.
Oh, I see. The resemblance is uncanny.
Look behind you! A 3-headed monkey!
Really? I'd better fetch the cook.
That amazingly gullible conquistador guard has sodded off for a while to let us go upstairs and see Governor Fat. Notice here, there is a portrait of Manuel Calavera from Grim Fandango. That, of course, isn't in the original game. It's just a random faceless conquistador guy with a ruff. But when they redid it in high definition, they added Manny Calavera's face there. Just a nice little nod to another LucasArts game. And it's not the only Grim Fandango reference in this series either. Governor Fat is too languid to really bother us here, but we can't... Here's the famous pirate quotations book that we need, but we can't pick it up directly. What we need to do is a bit of an Indiana Jones thing here. Find the useless book that we picked up. Dessert recipes for tripe lovers. What I should actually probably have got to replace this with is the viscous fluids that you can make at home cookery book, which Governor Fat would probably have appreciated, but still, dessert recipes for tripe lovers is probably somewhat suited to his corpulence. So if we use this with the other book, get a nice little Indiana Jones reference here. He rips some pages out to try and balance the weight like he does with the bag of sand in Raiders of the Lost Ark. That guy's too busy drinking his goo to notice. So now we have the Pirate Quotations book, which is going to come in very useful shortly. And I think we're just about done on Fat Island for now. So we can return to Dread's ship. luckily the ship is always on the map. No matter which island you're on, you can always go directly back to the ship without having to go through the town.
Where do you want to go?
Okay, next we're going to pay a visit to Booty Island, which is probably my favourite of the three. The French Mardi Gras, cosmopolitan, sort of lively town. And, of course, we now have to watch Captain Dread's questionable navigational skills once again. It doesn't do this every single time, it just does it like, I think something like the first time that you go to each of the 3 islands from the map, it will do this. Then it just skips this entirely and you go straight there. You keep thinking he's going to eventually turn to face the island, but he basically goes in every direction but the right one. Hey, he made it. Okay, here we go. This one's really nice, nicely designed, like backgrounds and stuff. And again, just to quickly switch to the original graphics, just to show you, it was always a very beautiful location. Very nice indeed. There's a couple of familiar faces that we're going to see on this island as well. A new and somewhat awesome and important character in this game is Kate Capsize, who we'll see here.
Check it out! Check it out! 3-hour tours. Check it out! See the world. 3-hour tours. Last day before I leave for Fat Island. Glass bottom boat. Last day before I leave for Fat Island. Cruises.
Yeah, her randomised dialogue lines there can get a little annoying.
The sign says the Booty Boutique. Mementos, souvenirs, artifacts.
This is like an antique shop, and this is our first port of call. This cool little antique dealer guy. And now there's a few things that we need here, but we don't need all of them right now. There is also, as you can see, Indy's Whip TM.
That's the real thing, as seen in Raiders, Temple, Holy Grail, and The Young Chronicles.
Awesome. Nice reference, of course, because there are a couple of Indiana Jones games by Lucasfilm and LucasArts. Even though Indiana Jones was actually by Paramount and not Lucasfilm, it's still very nice that they put references to other games in, you know, and it's cool. And even Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis has a reference to Loom, which I pointed out in my Loom playthrough. And of course this was done long before Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, so that's not mentioned, which is probably for the best. What we're going to buy here is this well-polished old saw.
I'd like to buy this well-polished old saw.
Excellent choice. That'll be 25 pieces of 8.
Bargain.
Okay, I'll take it. Thank you.
Okay, nice. He has a map piece right here as well. One of the 4.
That's part of the Big Whoop treasure map. I don't know a lot about the piece, but there's supposed to be a book in the library that tells all about the whole map.
I have that book.
I'd like to buy this map piece.
That's 6 million pieces of 8. Do you want it?
Well, I can't afford that much.
Too bad.
Yeah. So that's sort of teasing us slightly there. Of course, we are going to need to acquire that by other means.
That collectible plate is worth a mint.
Wow, I knew those would be valuable one day.
I can't remember whose that one is. Oh yes, that one is Young Lindy's map piece. Young Lindy, the cabin boy, who it said in the book eventually went on to find wealth on Booty Island. So that's his map piece, and I think that's the next one we're going to be getting. I'm going to do them in the order that they're stated in the book. But for now I need to stay focused on Rapp Scallion's map. And the next thing is, we're going to go back to Scab Island. To
Where do you want to go?
do something there. And here we go again with the excruciatingly long, but still somehow hilarious Indiana Jones red line on a map thing. I am just going to watch these. You probably can skip them, but they only happen once each, so why the hell not? This one might be the worst yet. Guy's smoking a big chillum and doesn't really know where he's going. But I really like his little houseboat. It looks like it would be nice to chill out on, so I'm sure Guybrush is enjoying the ride. Unfortunately, Captain Dread didn't reappear in any of the later games, which is a real shame because he's kind of a cool character and a good, like, sort of sidekick almost to Guybrush. Okay, I'm going to go back through Woodtick here over to the laundry place. And you remember there were these 3 pirates here asleep. Now what I'm going to do is use the well-polished old saw which we just bought to saw off this guy's peg leg. Okay.
Aye! My leg! Help! Someone get a doctor!
Nice Tex Avery sort of eyes popping out there. So finally we have some use for the carpenter, or rather for his workshop. If we go in here now...
It says, out on house call. Please come again.
He's gone to fix the guy's peg leg.
Oh boy, it's Buzzsaw Girl.
Nice. So now that he's gone, we can pick up his hammer and some nails. Okay, and that's all from Scab Island for now. We can go back to Dread, who this time is moored next to the town, I think. Yeah. So we don't have to go all the way back to the peninsula.
Where do you want to go?
Back to Booty Island this time. And we're going to go over here.
Cruises.
And look,
Sunken
it's
galleons.
Stan's
Sightseeing.
previously owned coffins.
Sightseeing.
So Stan has
3-hour
branched out
tours.
into the undertaking business
See the
now. Let's go and pay a visit to our old buddy Stan.
Howdy! Welcome to Stan's previously owned coffins. We handle the dead for a lot less bread. What are you looking for, son? Need a bin for your next of kin? Want a family plot without spending a lot? You're in luck! Just look at all this quality merchandise, never before touched by a living soul. Most of it used only for a few hours. Premature burial, you know. That sort of thing. Well, speak up. Or are you dead? Either way, you came to the right place.
Okay, Stan still has a physics-defying checkered jacket, as always, which is good to know. And he still taps his foot impatiently when you do anything. Or rather, when you don't do anything. Okay, what we need to do is get him to show us one of his coffins.
I'm looking for a good used coffin.
Amazing! When you first walked in here, I said, now there's a guy who needs a good used coffin. There happens to be an excellent deal right behind you. Let's go take a look-see.
Stealthily measuring Guybrush
Now
there.
this here is the Cadillac of coffins. Look at all that leg room. There's room in there for Long John Silver himself. Here, let me get in and show you. Yes, a man can really rest in peace and comfort with one of these. Why should a man's coffin be any smaller than his bunk at sea? Can I show you anything else?
Okay, so in a different but similar way to the first game, we have to kind of take advantage of Stan's relentless sales pitching here. What we have to do is get him to show us this coffin again and then close the lid when he gets in it.
Could you show me that coffin again?
Of course! I could spend a lot of time in a coffin like this. Look at how freely I can wiggle my toes. I almost forgot. I wanted you to have this complimentary hanky. Just my way of saying, I care. Now, where were we? Oh yeah! This thing's bigger than my kitchen.
Sure. Try out the lid operation. It's just as roomy closed.
Can I show you anything else?
Okay, so we got a monogrammed handkerchief from Stan instead of the compass which we got in the previous game as a freebie. What we're going to do is get him to show it us one more time, and then we are going to use the hammer and nails to nail him into the coffin, which is very unpleasant, but we need to do it.
Could you show me that coffin again?
Alrighty. You know, a person's coffin should reflect their station in life.
But it's open.
It's just as roomy closed. Here, let me show you. See? If you're thinking about one of those cheaper models, first ask yourself, isn't my loved one worth the best? I hear you knocking up there. That's solid oak you're hearing. Yes, it sure is nice in here. Hey, I think the lid's stuck. Excuse me, friend. Could you see if the clasp is closed on this thing? I seem to be stuck. Hello? Is anybody out there? Yoo-hoo! Help! I can't get out of here! Okay, a joke's a joke. Now get me out of here! Open this coffin right now! Anybody? I really am claustrophobic. Someone's going to pay for this. I'd bust out of here, but the dang thing's built too well. Well, if I had to be stuck in a coffin, at least it's the deluxe model. Really is pretty roomy in here. Maybe I'll take a nap. I hope this thing's not airtight. I'm not dead! I'm losing valuable business. Let me out! I need to go to the bathroom! Hello? Is anybody out there? I can't get out of here! I'd bust out of here, but the dang...
Okay, he's not going to shut up, is he? So what we're going to do is pick up this crypt key.
I'm losing valuable business. Help!
That's the reason that we needed to nail him into the coffin, was in order to steal that key.
I need to go to the bathroom! Are you still out there? Hello?
3-hour tours.
Alright, fine. Now that's not the last we're going to see of Stan. Well, it is the last we're going to see of him in this game.
Where do you want to go?
But Stan is one of the constant characters in the series. He appears in every game. Okay, let's see... Oh, right, yes, of course. Now, Rapp Scallion, if you recall from the book, retired to set up a steaming weenie hut on Scab Island. In actual fact, the weenie hut is on the beach where we started the game. We can't get in there just yet, but as you can see, it's just here.
Rapp Scallion's Steamin' Weenie Hut. Place order here.
There you go. So it's like a fast food hot dog bar or something. But Rapp Scallion is sadly no longer alive. Luckily there is a cemetery on this island, so you can see why we needed the crypt key. Okay, here's the crypt. We can use the crypt key to open it. Now inside there are a bunch of coffins. Unfortunately they aren't labelled with the name of the person who's inside, or half inside in the case of this pair of feet here.
Talk about your slipshod internments.
So if we look at the coffins,
it's inscribed with a quote. Darg!
Each coffin has a different quote, right? Now this is the reason that we needed the famous pirate quotations book from Governor Fat. So if we read this book, then we can find the quotation attributed to Rapp Scallion, and then we can identify which coffin is his.
Famous pirate quotations. Happiness is a warm manatee. Old skunk eye. Kiss me, I've got scurvy. Rapp Scallion. Darg! Commander Buttonhead. Violets are blue, roses are red. We're coming aboard. Prepare to eat lead. Fester Leech. Mouthwash. We don't need no stinking mouthwash. Barney Gout.
There you go. So, kiss me, I've got scurvy is Rapp Scallion's quote, so we need to find the coffin inscribed with that quote.
Violets are blue, roses are red. We're coming aboard. Prepare to eat lead.
That one's quite good.
Mouthwash. We don't need no stinking mouthwash. Kiss me, I've got scurvy.
That should be it. So we'll open this one. And there is nothing inside except some ashes. The mortal, corporeal remains of Rapp Scallion. Unfortunately, this is no good to us in terms of getting a map piece, so we'll pick up some of the ashes anyway.
Silty.
Silty, nice. Now, the best chance we've got, of course, of communicating with the dead is our old friend the Voodoo Lady, who happens conveniently to be on Scab Island. So we'll go over to the swamp and pay a visit to her and see what she can do. And we'll just make our way once again across the swamp in our makeshift boat. Okay. Now there are these jars here, which we will need to look at.
Bat wax.
We need to examine them until we find one called Ash to Life.
Fruit cocktail in heavy syrup. Golden tongue, the 5-day treatment plan that helps you talk to women. Tender touch pirate powder, prevents stump chafing and eye patch rash. Tender touch pirate powder, prevents stump chafing and eye patch rash. Wart remover. Ash to Life, the uncremating cream.
That's our baby. So we're going to pick up the Ash to Life.
Hey, that's just a display model. I've got the real stuff back here. That's one of my most powerful potions. Brings the dead back to life.
I'll take it.
There are some complications. It only works on ashes, and the resurrection is only temporary. Plus, you need to bring me a sample of the subject's ashes before I can mix you up a batch.
I have the ashes of somebody I'd like resurrected right here.
Bring them to me. Now, there's only one small problem. I forgot the recipe.
What?
It's been a long time. I don't have that cookbook anymore.
I've got a book of voodoo recipes.
Good. How many crab scalps does it say to use?
13.
Good. That's just what I thought when I whipped up this experimental batch.
Thanks.
Remember, just a dabble do ya.
Okay, so obviously now you can see why we needed to take out the Voodoo Recipes cookbook as well from the library. And we have the Ash to Life, so we can return to Rapp Scallion. We needed a sample of his ashes as well as the cookbook in order to make the Ash to Life. I just already had it all prepared. It's a strange thing because I would say the puzzles in this game are probably the most challenging of any of the games in the Monkey Island series. However, even though I know the entire game off by heart and I've played it like dozens of times, I never get bored of it. I think it's just testament to how charming, how funny and how well designed the whole thing is, that it's like, you know, just going through the motions, you know, like, and just doing puzzles that I already know the solutions to, like inside out, is still so much fun. And now we can use the Ash to Life on the ashes.
Phew, that was a close one. If I didn't have my flame-resistant apron on, I would have been killed.
You were killed, Rapp.
What?
You're the prep cook at the Pearly Gates.
I'm dead?
Sealed up and covered with goo like a canned ham.
I'm not ready to die. I feel my soul is not at peace. There is something I must do before I pass on.
Like, you mean finish War and Peace?
No. I just have this nagging feeling that I left the gas on in my restaurant. It's driving me crazy.
I'll check the gas for you, Rapp.
Thanks. Here's the key.
Cool, now I've got the key to the steaming weenie hut. The hut actually, in spite of having a beautifully rendered interior, it is only used for this one puzzle. You know, there's nothing inside it that, as far as memory serves, there's nothing inside that we have to take and use elsewhere. It's just done for this one scene with Rapp Scallion. Still, those guys are still toasting their marshmallows and drinking grog, which sounds like a pleasant evening. Here we go. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else inside.
They're empty, but I can still smell the pickles. It's stuck shut with old grease and pork fat. Ugh.
Okay, the gas is off, and we are done in the weenie hut. I always really liked the interior of that place playing this as a kid. For some reason it reminded me of the little hut that the walrus and the carpenter construct in Disney's Alice in Wonderland. I know that sounds really strange, but they construct like a little hut on the beach, and it looks very similar to that inside. Like it's like a little sort of 18th or 19th century kitchen interior. Honestly, watch that film and you will see the resemblance.
Well?
You were right, the gas was on. I turned it off.
Thanks. I guess where I'm going I won't need this map anyway.
Thanks.
Now I can rest in the folds of the earth, like a steaming weenie in a soft, fresh bun. Ah.
And we have our first map piece. Lovely. One of 4. So, I'm going to end the episode here. Right before I do that, I am just going to check the order that they are stated in the book, so that I know which one I'm doing next. I'm going to go back to Booty Island, I guess.
Deep inside LeChuck's fortress.
LeChuck, sir, I regret to report that Guybrush has found one of the map pieces to Big Whoop.
You will regret it a lot more if he finds another. Stop him at any cost. But remember, I want him alive.
Yes, sir. Creep.
Okay, I'm going to end the episode here. Next time we will go after...
Big Whoop, unclaimed bonanza or myth? It says here there were 4 pirates. Rapp Scallion, the cook. Young Lindy, the cabin boy.
Young Lindy's map piece. So join me then and we will track that one down. Thank you very much for watching and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and a comment, subscribe for more, and I will see you next time for more Monkey Island 2. Take care and goodbye.